Mr. Chairman, and to all the nominees today. It's obviously a time in America where we should recognize people who want to step forward and serve in the public interest, do so at often great sacrifice, not just to themselves, but to their families. So I just want to recognize that this is a very important part of our American tradition, and people that step forward for these offices should be commended for doing that. Mr. Chung, I want to jump right back in to where my colleague was asking you about Mike Davis, if you don't mind me to dig in a little bit more here. And if that's one of my videos, keep it playing. But if it's not me, you should cut it off right now. Do you agree with Mr. Davis that you guys are friends, correct?
We are friends, Senator.
Yeah, thank you. And Mr. Davis recommended you, or did Mr. Davis recommend you or otherwise mention you to anyone in the Trump administration for this judicial vacancy?
I believe he might have, Senator.
Thank you, sir. Do you know exactly what did he say or to whom he made that recommendation?
I do not know that, Senator.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Davis, did Mr. Davis, excuse me, or anyone else associated with the Article 3 project advise or prepare you for any aspect of this nomination?
No, Senator.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so don't let the slow nature of how this video started off kind of fool you. It gets pretty good, and we're going to discuss a few things, right? Some of these senators, they can act like utter children, just petulant children, as a matter of fact. Now, this nominee, I'm covering him heavily because this dude is abso-freaking-lutely based. I love this guy. I believe, if my hearing is correct, he's going to be on the 9th Circuit. Now, I may be getting him confused with the other guy. One of these guys is going to the 1st Circuit. The other one's going to the 9th Circuit. I believe this guy right here is going to the 9th Circuit. So it's already kind of conservative heavy. So, you know, kind of not going to make much of a difference, but it is what it is. But y'all prepare for the video. So y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. That would be greatly appreciated. If you would do that, I'd love to have you. That's for sure. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And if you would be so inclined, I would greatly appreciate if you would click that join button. You know you want to. You know you need to. Yeah, you need to do this because it helps me greatly. And I need y'all's help, y'all. So y'all do all that. And without any further ado, let's get it.
Okay, and Mr. Davis is the founder of the Article 3 project. According to the organization's website, he founded the Article 3 project after he helped Trump win the Gorsuch and Kavanaugh nominations. And Mr. Davis said that we saw how relentless and evil too many of today's Democrats have become. They're Marxists who hate America. They believe in censorship. They have politicized and weaponized our justice system. Do you agree with Mr. Davis's statements that today's Democrats are relentless and evil?
Senator, Mr. Davis's views as expressed there are not necessarily the views of mine.
I didn't ask if they were necessarily. I just asked, do you think that today's Democrats are relentless and evil?
Senator, you're asking me to comment on a political question, and as a nominee to a judicial position, I cannot and should not speculate or comment on that.
Sir, I spend a lot of time working to try to affirm this fact that we are one nation under God, that the lines that divide us are nowhere near as strong as the ties that bind us. I'm proud of my relationships with my friends on the other side of the aisle. I think it hurts Mr. Kennedy to when I say that he and I are friends. I could say unequivocally, Republicans are not evil, but you're telling me you will not say on the record here that Democrats are not evil?
Senator, you're asking a personal and policy-laden question that I cannot answer.
So put yourself in the position of a person coming before you who's watching this right now, and you're supposed to be a judge who's impartial, and you're telling me that for this nomination, I have a constitutional obligation to advise and consent, that I should be in any way hopeful that a judge will be that impartial if he cannot say that Americans writ large, because of their freedom of party association, that you can't say that whether you're deciding to be a Democrat or Republican or independent, you can't say in this hearing that you don't think that that makes a person evil?
Senator, I can commit to this committee that whoever comes before my court, should I be fortunate enough to be confirmed, will be treated with respect and their arguments will be
And not a
accorded.
presumption that they are evil.
Senator, whoever they are, Republican or Democrat or independent, who steps to my court, they will be accorded full consideration of their arguments.
Mr. David, I don't know what you're afraid of. I really don't, Mr. Tang. I honestly don't know where have we gotten to the point in American history that someone up for a position such as yours, and I've seen this courageously from people on both sides of the aisle who understand that the judiciary should be above partisanship, who understand the judiciary in many ways should be a sobered assessor of fact. It is deeply disappointing to me that you cannot tell the American public right now that the person that you're affiliated with their heated language, with their casting in broad brushes, doubling down on the toxins that are making life here dangerous. And frankly, I've talked to federal judges who tell me about having to protect themselves. We had a horrific incident in our state where a federal judge was targeted, their husband shot, their son killed. In this time in America, to render an answer of, I can't answer that, to me is additive to the toxins that are in our society that are pitting people against each other. You are up for a position in the highest court in the land, and you can't simply say, I don't think Democrats are evil. Is that what you're telling me?
Senator, I wish I were up for a position in the highest court of the land, but I'm up for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
Sir, to Americans, the federal courts are the highest courts in the land. So I appreciate your correction and your diligence and dutiful attention to detail. But right now, I am gravely disappointed that you can't simply say what I can say is that my colleagues are not evil, that Democrats are not evil, that Republicans are not evil, and this kind of rhetoric is damaging. I am deeply disappointed, sir.
I just love when Democrats just blatantly display their hypocrisy just out for everybody to see. The exact accusation that Cory Booker right here is levying against this Trump nominee is the very evil that he is refusing to answer, and I love it. I just outright love it. Like, Cory Booker is playing games right here. This is supposed to be a gotcha game. That's what all these nomination hearings are always about, and it's usually one-sided, right? Like, I've noticed these. I've watched a lot of these, folks. When it's Democrats, when we have a Republican president, and Democrats are in the minority, and they're looking at, it's always these gotcha games. They always dig up dirt. It's always some sort of smear, something somebody said. Oh, this guy is your friend, and he said a bad thing. Blah, 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 trying to shame Republicans based on their own morals, which is utter nonsense. It really is. Now, when it goes the other way around, what do we see? We see Republicans, they dig into the record of these judicial nominees and point out where they are engaging in evil actions and, you know, basing their judgments outside of the Constitution, outside of the rule of law, blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I could point these things out all freaking day long. He is asking him to say that Democrats are not evil when he is asking him to stand up there and lie. And then he's trying to shame him into oblivion, for crying out loud. I had to throw that qualifier in there, oblivion, for goodness sakes, because I have to. I mean, why the hell not? But he's trying to shame him into saying, you're the reason for the division in the country. It has nothing to do with Democrats trying to, you know, propose all these radical policies that fall way outside the bounds of conservatives' moral beliefs, their principles. They fall way outside. They're pushing the limits of the Constitution every single freaking day. Look at what's going on in Texas right now. It's utterly insane what's going on in Texas, and I've covered it heavily with these Democrats. They just abandon their post, abandon their constitutional duties, and leave the state to shut down democracy, folks. That's what they are doing. They're trying to shut down democracy, those Democrats in Texas. Now, with actions like that, what would you call that? What would Democrats call that if Republicans did it? Oh, they would call it evil. Oh, it's fascism, it's this, it's that, it's racism, and whatever it may be, misogyny even. You might as well throw that in there, right? But look, he's asking him about evil. If he does believe that there are some evil Democrats out there, he cannot answer that in the affirmative and tell him that, no, I don't think Democrats are evil, if there are evil Democrats out there, right? It's not the Republicans' fault that the Democrats are pushing the boundaries of constitutional normality around this place. It really isn't Republicans' fault. Like, this dude is based. And I love how he answers. He gets out from underneath it without actually saying, you know, giving out the answer or whatever it may be. It's fascinating how these lawyers' minds think to work themselves to kind of worm their way around these BS questions, these absurd trap questions, if you will. You know, and it's funny. It's really easy for Cory Booker to get up there and lie to everybody, not thinking that, hey, hang on, dude, you speak on the House floor all the time, on the Senate floor all the time. We can go back and look at your speeches where you were calling Donald Trump a fascist, an authoritarian, this regime, blah, 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 blah. You go on and on and on and on, calling the orange man Hitler.
In a moral moment, there's no bystanders. You are either complicit in the evil, you are either contributing to the wrong, or you are fighting against it.
That is complicity with an authoritarian leader who is trashing our Constitution. It's time for Democrats to have a backbone. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to draw lines.
Seen this, and I've been saying this from the beginning of the Trump administration. Those people who are enabling him, who assuage their conscience, witness the kind of things he does on a regular basis. And we've heard the reports, I've heard you reporting, the kind of things this person does to do moral vandalism in that office. Those people that are enabling him, there is a cold, frigid place under the historical eye. They will go down in history as despicable actors who have enabled one of the presidents who's doing some of the worst things to that office in the entire history of our country.
On a consistent basis. And then you're going to get up there and try to showboat and tell everybody, oh, I'm all about unity. Who was the guy that was an utter child and spoke to delay a vote for 72 freaking hours straight, just about? He's the one that set all that stuff up. Sure, he didn't speak for the entire, I think he went for like 24 hours or something like that. It was a record, for crying out loud, to delay a vote. That's what he did. He is obstructing the democracy process, for crying out loud, because this is what they do. They go in and they vote on nominees, they vote on bills, whatever it may be. The filibuster is meant to obstruct whatever is going on a vote. That's what they do, folks. This is what Democrats do. Of course, the minority parties do it. Republicans do it as well. But Democrats, they take it to a whole nother level. Right? And I can't stand that I'm having to be one-sided here. Look, I'm not trying to be some naked partisan, right? But the Democrats, they don't want to play by the rules. They don't care about any sort of normality in Congress, any of these things. And then he wants to get up there and lie to everybody and say, I am the guy that's about unity, when you're lying to everybody, my dude. And we can see this. All we got to do is go back and look at some of your speeches. And dude, you are not for unity. You are not about trying to bring people together. Now, I mean, you could sit there and say, oh, well, this Republican over here is my friend. Therefore, Republicans are not evil. But what were you saying not 10 hours ago? Yeah, Republicans just so happen to be doing these things that is tantamount to somebody that's evil. Right? Like, they just lie, folks. And I'm getting tired of these people just lying and trying to get away with it. So I'm going to point it out whenever I see it. I'm going to call it out and say, look, you're freaking lying. Stop lying to everybody. But they're not going to stop lying, are they? No, because it's all political games. It's all political theater. They just showboat, and it's all showmanship, if you will. I'm going to get up here and measure my own dick. Look how pretty that thing is, just sticking all out there, just at attention or whatever. It's all nonsense, y'all. It really, really is. But I think that's all I got on this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think. Y'all don't forget, smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. That'd be great. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And sign up and become a member. That would be lovely. But y'all do all that for me. Y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.